Good morning, everybody. Hey, once again, it's your friendly neighborhood boy, Doc G. And today I'm going to discuss a topic that I had to. This been on my mind for a long time, and it's my duty as an older black male to inform the youth and inform the unenlightened about who we are as a people. And this subject is about being black in America, what it's like. Okay, we're going to start off with the definition. The difference between black and white via the Webster's Dictionary. The definition of white: free from color. It means to be free from moral impurity, free from blemish, free from spots, not intended to cause harm. White also means the absence of color, marked by good, warmth, and pure resonance. So white is also white is also considered the color of good. So, like for example, you see a lot of cartoons. The villain might be wearing black, and the good guy wears white. Based by the Webster's English definition, white is everything good. Not intended to cause harm, pure, um, you know, has, it means that you have morals. Like all of this is from the definition of white. The Webster's definition of black means to be characterized by the absence of light. It means thoroughly sinister or evil, indicative of condemnation or discredit, connected with the supernatural, especially the devil, henceforth the term black magic. Very sad, gloomy, and associated with despair. Marked by the occurrence of a disaster, characterized by hostility or angry discontent. Grim, distorted, or grotesque in nature. So, based off of the Webster's definition, the English definition of white and black, it's like black is associated with everything negative. Everything negative. Based off of the dictionary. So before you even get a chance to know a person's personality or who they are, based off of the definition, you already think negatively of them, because it's rooted in the English language that black is the epitome of negative. Black is the epitome of negative via the dictionary. So this is one example of why black people are looked at in a negative way. This is rooted in the history and even the language of this country. What else? You have other terms like minority. Minority pretty much means that you're lesser, that you're not as up to par with the status quo. As a black man in America, look, I identify myself as a minority because there's nothing minor about me. Everything I do associated in my life, I do it major. I try to make my life mean something. Everything I do is for a reason. So there's nothing minor about me. So I'll be goddamn if I'm going to refer to myself as a minority. And based off the Webster's definition of black, I don't even want to consider myself black because I'm not grotesque. I'm not evil. I'm not of the devil. I'm a regular human being. But based off the definition, hell, you would think that I'm Satan. I'm not going to refer to myself as black. I'm going to refer to myself as a stolen African. Because that's exactly what I am. Stolen from Africa, brought over here to America. So I think that's the best term to describe myself. Okay, now I had to bring my notes because it's a lot on my mind when it comes to this. Okay, now the media has a lot to do with the portrayal of black people. It has a lot to do with the portrayal of black people. Notice that every time you look at the TV, almost every commercial you see, it's a white person. Almost every show you see, it's a white person. Everything you look at on TV, you see a white person. White, 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 white. Every time you turn on the TV. You look at most superheroes. Hell, all the positive role models, all the superheroes are white. You know? When the last time you seen a black superhero or anything positive about a black man in the media? You haven't. And every time you turn on the news, you know, they're saying that, oh, well, you know, a black man killed somebody, a black man did this, a black man did that. The media labels people. They label us. And you can't really separate the media from society because the media is part of society. For example, you look at the news, a black man does something, he's a thug. A Muslim person does a crime, he's considered a terrorist. A Mexican does a crime or a Hispanic does a crime, he's considered an illegal immigrant. A white person does a crime and he's just mentally unstable. They don't give labels to white people like that in the media. They don't give labels to them. Like, for example, the Columbine shooting. You know, white kid shoots up a school, it's whatever. You got that Batman shooting where a white kid bust into a movie theater and shot 13 people. You know? And guess what? You haven't heard about them ever since. I think it's funny because they try to justify how good the white boy was before he started shooting people. They'd be like, oh, well, he was such a good kid and he has such a promising future. I don't know what went wrong with him. Every time a white person does a crime, that's what it's like. But a black person does a crime, oh man, it's just another nigga off the street. Man, these niggas. Which goes to prove, if you white and you in America, you represent only yourself. You only represent yourself if you white in America. If you black in America, whatever you do, whatever one black person does, he represents his whole entire race. If a black person robs a liquor store, guess what? Motherfuckers are going to think that all black people are thieves because of the action of one person. A white person robs a liquor store. Hey, well, it's just one white guy that robbed a liquor store. So what? let's not get into the rest of the media. You look, like I said, the media. You look at the TV, and when they interview a black person on the news, they don't find a black person who's literate. They don't find a black person who has common sense, who can speak proper. They find the most ghetto, ignorant, the most illiterate black person they can find, and then they interview them. Why? Because it makes for interesting news. That person is more animated. So guess what? Yeah, they're going to pick the hood rat over the guy that can speak proper English. And these are the black people that you see being interviewed on the news all the time. Because who wants to see a literate black person speak on the news? Like, if a car accident happened, you know, they can pick out a regular decent black guy and be like, oh well, you know, the guy swerved and he hit the other car. They could pick a decent black guy to say something like that. But no, they would rather pick Tyrone from around the corner who speaks Ebonics on a regular basis. And he'll pretty much describe it like, yeah, shawty, man, you know what I'm talking about? I seen me a car around the corner and shit. They would rather have a guy that speaks like that than a guy that speaks with common sense. And they do this on purpose. I know somebody that works for Channel 2 Action News who told me about that shit. So I know it's true. And on top of that, let's not also get into the rest of the media. Let's look at the movies. They coming out with all these fucking slave movies and all these they coming out with all these fucked up movies to remind us that yeah, y'all used to be slaves and we used to be your masters and stuff. And guess what? Most of these motherfucking movies win Grammys. Win Oscars. Sorry. Like, for example, Halle Berry won an Oscar for Monsters Ball. She had to fuck a white man to get an Oscar. Halle Berry has been a great actress for a long time. But she had to fuck a white dude just to get an Oscar. What else? Denzel Washington got an Oscar for playing, for Training Day. Denzel Washington was a great actor. Great actor for a long time. But he had to play a thug just to win an Oscar. What else? That movie Precious. Monique won an Oscar for Precious. What role did she have to play? Monique had to play an angry, bitter, abusive mother. An angry, bitter black woman to win an Oscar. What else? Forrest Whitaker. He won an Oscar for, what's that movie? The Last King of Scotland. He had to play an angry dictator who ate his own people, who was a cannibal. He had to play that role to get an Oscar. What else? That movie, The Help. I forgot the name of that actress, but she won an Oscar for playing the house mommy. You know, the house mammy. That pretty much bowed down to whatever the white person said. She won an Oscar for that. Oh, and let's not even get on 3-6 Mafia. They're a rap group. They won an Oscar for best music score of a film about a pimp. They made a song talking about it's hard out here to be a pimp. And that music score for that movie, Hustle and Flow, won an Oscar. So you see, black people have to portray the negative stereotype to get what they want. No matter how hard you work, they still gonna look at you as a nigger. Unfortunately, that's how America is. And whatever a white man is given in America, a black man has to work 10 times harder for. For example, look at George Bush. George Bush was fucking given the presidency. He was given the presidency. He was given that spot as the president just because He was an old white dude, and his father happened to be a president in the past. So George Bush was given that position. A guy like Barack Obama had to work his ass off for that position. On top of that, the news, the media, kept trying to find everything wrong with this guy. They kept trying to find everything wrong with him. They kept nitpicking at him and nitpicking at him. They tried, hell, Barack Obama went to get a hamburger at Five Guys, and they were picking on that. They were talking about oh, well, he says he doesn't want cheese on his hamburger. Does that mean that he's better than the rest of us Americans? That was a real story, by the way. I mean, they're picking on his religion. They'd be like, oh, well, Barack Obama might be Muslim. Does that mean that he loves America, or does he hate America? They picking on that shit. And then on top of that, it's funny how they referred to Barack Obama when he got elected and he was going to be the next president. The news kept referring to him as President-elect Barack Obama. President-elect. They wouldn't even give him the due of calling him the next president of the United States. They kept on calling him President-elect. But with every white man that got elected as president, they would call him, this is the next president, or this is the future president. With Barack Obama, he had to work for that title. And even still, he wasn't even in office for a good 30 days, and they tried to impeach him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even going to get on politics at all, because I can go all day about that. But like I said, a black man has to work 10 times harder for what a white man is simply given. And that brings me to something that white people and black people need to realize in this country, and that's called white privilege. A lot of y'all don't know what white privilege is. It's basically the privileges you have based off of your skin color that you have in the United States of America. I'm going to name off a few examples of white privilege. Because of white privilege, you'll never have to worry about becoming the victim of law enforcement officers. Which is true. Because I've never committed a crime in my life. And I can't count how many times I've been followed by the police for no fucking reason. 2, thankfully, you'll never have to know what it feels like to see your teenage son's death being mocked. And we're talking about Trayvon Martin here. For example, because a lot of people were making fun of Trayvon Martin's death. Like for Halloween this past year. White people dressing up in blackface, wearing a hoodie, carrying an Arizona iced tea and Skittles, pretending like they're Trayvon Martin. And for some odd reason, white people think that's okay. But hell, if a white dude's death was mocked like that, guess what? It will be World War III.